All right, you guys, I want to show you how to make something that looks exactly like this using Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and close this one so we can just start over. I'm not going to worry about saving that. Let's go to Lightroom here, and I want you to just find a photo that you want to use. Whatever photo you want to use is fine. I'm going to use this one right here. So I'm just going to right-click on this photo here in Lightroom and choose Edit in Photoshop, and that's going to open up over there in Photoshop for us. All right, so I've got this open in Photoshop. Let's come up here to the top of our screens and go to Window here in Photoshop. Come on. Let's go to Window, try that again, Window, Workspace, and we're going to choose Reset Essentials. Well, first make sure you're on Essentials, and then if it doesn't look exactly like mine, then go ahead and choose Reset Essentials, and that's going to make sure that we're all working on the exact same thing here. So let's get going now. What we want to do is come over here to what's called our Layers panel. That's this guy right over here in the bottom right-hand corner, and this is our background layer. You notice this is the layer that my photo is on. What I want to do is I want to duplicate this layer or make a copy of it. And the easiest way to do that is to press Command-J on a Mac or Control-J on a PC. So you can see when I did that, that made a new layer called Layer 1. Awesome. And now we're going to add another layer, only this time we're going to add a different kind of layer. And what I want you to do is come down here to the bottom of your Layers panel and find this little black and white circle right here and click on that. And we're going to find the solid color layer, and here's that option right there. So I'll choose solid color, and this box is going to pop up right here. And what we want is a pure white color. And to get pure white, what you got to do is you don't have to click like on this circle, but just right here, click and drag up into that top left-hand corner. If you try to just click in the corner, you'll notice that's almost pure white, but it's not quite. In order to get all the way into the corner, what I like to do is click and drag into that corner like that. You'll know you're there because it'll look just like my grades in high school. There would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 F's right there. And that's how you'll know that your color is pure white. If you can't get it there, just click in this box and type in 6 F's and then press OK. Very good. Now, what we need to do next is we need to move this layer. And this part can be a little bit tricky, so watch closely. What I'm going to do is drag this Color Fill 1 layer right here. It doesn't really matter where. I'm going to just click right here on this blank spot just to be safe. And I'm going to click and drag this down below layer 1. And see that blue bar that's now showing up between layer 1 and background? That's telling me that right now if I let go, that white layer will move down between those two. And you notice I can't see it anymore. And that's because it's being covered up by layer 1. If I come in here and turn the eyeball off for layer 1 right there, you can see I can now see the white layer. It's right there. It's no longer being covered up. But I'm going to turn that back on because that's how it needs to be for this assignment. All right, let's go back to our Layers panel, and I want to choose this Layer 1. I want to just select that. So I'm just going to click on it right there. Doesn't really matter where. Just click on the layer, Layer 1. And then let's go over here on our toolbar, and we're going to scroll down, come down here, find the Type tool. The keyboard shortcut for that is T. And you'll notice that it has a little triangle in the bottom right-hand corner. That means you can right-click on it and choose multiple options, but we want the horizontal Type tool. And then what I want you to do is come up here on the top of the screen, and for this assignment, we want to choose a big, bold font. So you can see, you can kind of see a preview of what the fonts look like Baloo. That's a nice big, bold font. I like Impact. Impact is always a big, bold font. So I'm just going to type Impact in that box and choose Impact Regular. I'm going to set my size to about 60 or 72. It doesn't really matter, honestly. I'm going to center it, so I'll click on that dude right there. And then I want this text to be white. So I'm going to click on this color box right here. And again, I'll just make sure I'm in that top left-hand corner and choose Pure White and press OK there. At this point, I'm just going to click somewhere on my screen, somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to click and I'm going to type whatever word I want to go here. So I took this photo when I was in Norway, like, I don't know, 14 years ago. So I'm going to type in Norway, and I'm going to do all capital letters because I think it looks better right there. So a couple different ways to tell Photoshop you're done typing. You can come up here and click on this check mark right here. You can press Command or Control Enter on your keyboard, or you can press the Escape key. All three of those will commit your text, and you'll notice now over here in my Layers panel, I have a type layer that has the same text on it that I have out here, which for me is Norway. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we need to take this text layer, and this text layer also needs to be below layer 1, right? Well, we know how to do that. That's easy now. So I'm going to click on this and drag it down below layer 1, but above the color fill layer. So again, look for that blue line between layer 1 and color fill 1, and let go, and that will drop that dude right in there. And now this is where the magic happens, you guys. Watch this. I'm going to come back and click on layer 1 again. Then I'm going to come up here into the top right-hand corner of my Layers panel, this little menu button right there. I'm going to click on that, and I'm looking for Create Clipping Mask, and it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that dude right there, and watch what happens when I do that. Ta-da! I can now see my image through my text like that. Pretty cool looking, pretty cool. So now we just need to make this Norway text bigger. Well, that's easy. We know how to do that. I'm going to come down here and click on my Norway layer, my Norway type layer, to select it. And then I'm going to come up here and go to Edit, and I'm going to choose Free Transform, or you could just press Command or Control T. That's going to bring up this box around it. And I think a really easy way to do this is hold down Option key on a Mac or Alt on a PC, and just grab a corner and just click and drag, and you can see that's going to resize all 4 corners for us. I'm going to keep dragging that out, make it nice and big. Let go of that, and then you can click and you can move this around like this to try to get it to a better spot. You can let go of Alt or Option and kind of come in and finesse it a little bit. I want my text to be nice and big and bold, and once I have it the way I want it to look, I'm going to go ahead and press Enter or Return on my keyboard. Let's do 2 more steps to make this thing look awesome. With our text layer still selected, I'm going to come down to the bottom of my Layers panel and click on FX right here. And this is going to allow me to add a drop shadow to my text. So I'm going to click right here on Drop Shadow. And this box right here will pop up, and you've got several different things you can play around with. The angle is what angle the shadow will come off of your text at. I like 123-ish, but you choose whichever one you want. It doesn't really matter. The distance is how far away from the text the shadow shows up. So you can see if I move this way out here to 30,000, the shadow is so far away I can't even see it anymore. So maybe let's move it in a little bit closer. There you go. I like that for this image. The spread and the size will kind of control whether it's a soft or a hard edge shadow. So you can see if I put the size down and the spread down, and the shadow has a very hard edge. And if I crank up the spread and the size, I get a very soft edge. So I like the looks of that. Those are the numbers I used. If you want to just copy me and type those in, you can, or play around with it and do your own. Either way is fine with me. I'm going to go ahead and press OK on this. And the last thing I want to do is crop this down. I got a lot of empty white space up here and down here that I do not need. So I'm going to come over here on my toolbar. I'm going to grab my crop tool. Keyboard shortcut is C for the crop tool. And then with that selected, I want to make sure these boxes up here are completely blank and empty. So let's start by clicking on this. And it doesn't really matter what you're on. I'm on W by H by resolution. But again, I just want to make sure there's nothing in any of these boxes. So I'll click on this clear to make sure that there's nothing there. And then all I'm going to do is click right up here at the top and drag that down, and come down here and click at the bottom and drag that up. And once I get that where I like it, I'll go ahead and press Enter or Return, or click on this check mark right here. And there you go. That is cropped and ready to go. And this sucker is ready to be turned in. So as always, we always want to save our work twice in Photoshop. So I'm going to come up here and go to File, Save As. And I'm going to just come here and click on the red shortcut that I created earlier. If you don't have that, you can just find your folder in the Google Drive somewhere. And I'm going to go into SR Photography, Photo 1-2. I'll find my period, and I'll find my name. And I'll call this, let's give this a new name. Let's call this Photoshop Text. And I want to make sure I save this format as a Photoshop document. Just right here, Photoshop's what I'm looking for. So I'll go ahead and click on Save on that. And you'll see this blue progress bar down here. You need to wait till that's done before you do the next step. So I'm just going to watch that. Now that that's done, I'm going to go to File. And I'm going to choose Save As again. And it will already be in the correct folder. I'm already right where I want to save it. All I'm going to do is change the format down here from a Photoshop to a JPEG. And then I might come up here and just add somewhere in the title. I might add Turn This In. So I know this is the file that I'm going to turn in. Turn this in. And go ahead and hit Save. And now, whatever way you have for turning in this file, when you see this box right here, just press OK. And now, however you choose to turn it in, you're just going to turn in that JPEG file that we just saved, and you are done with the assignment.